Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Detour Live. We're back again after the rest day and high drama on stage 16 at the Vuelta. Geez, where do you start? There's punches, conspiracy theories. It's all happening.
Amazing day, actually. So we started down the coast and come up into Sevilla. But we're actually in a little town on the edge of Sevilla. It's part of Sevilla. And it's called Tomares. And it's the wealthiest town in this area. So that's amazing stuff. But you know what? It was everyone thought it would be an easy day. It was 2 up the road. All but back, they got caught 15k to go. They had this hill, 12k out. That started the proceedings, but all the big hitters stayed together. Unfortunately, 2 real good Aussie hopes in Kaden Graves and Rob Stannard, both punctured. One 8k out, one 5k out. So they were both big chances today, actually. But it was one of those stages where you looked at it and went, you know what? It's a Mads Pedersen stage because he's up there as one of the best sprinters in the world. But the minute the finale is uphill, he becomes the best sprinter in the world. And he proved it again today. But that was just a small part of this amazing stage because you had right at just inside the 3K, about 2.6K to go, Remco attacks big time. And suddenly... Roglic attacks big time. And suddenly Remco's hand goes up with a puncture. And then inside the 3K, so he can just casually change his wheel and whatever. But Remco attacked like these are the sprinters here. And it was amazing. He put the gap in. Mads Pedersen had to really close that gap to him in the last 500 meters. But then in the last 200 meters, he managed to clip a wheel, we think, or slip. I don't know how he managed to fall, but he's hit the dust. The Roglic has hit the dust big time in the last 200 meters. So he's sort of knocked around, but they had an 8-second gap. There he is. And there's a vision of him trying to get back on the bike. So after his glasses are sideways and he looks confused. So he knocked himself around a bit, I can tell you. But he got that time gap. So he got 8 seconds. Remco had to get given the next time. And you'll see in the interview I get... Yeah, that's the GC. Oh, that's the stage finish. So Mads Pedersen, Ackermann, Van Poppel, right. It doesn't show that Roglic also gets that same time because it'll get adjusted later, of course. So, yeah. And so all these conspiracy theories are now out there that Remco didn't have a puncture, just said, I got a puncture to save, any time. It doesn't make sense. It's not the type of guy he is. He's a racer. He's not going to do that. But, the problem you got now is, so he's punctured. He's on the tubeless tyres. So they start to go flat, but then they produce this, the stuff floats out and closes the thing. So when he actually stops, it's only half flat. So then it debates, well, couldn't
what
he have kept
constitutes
going?
A puncher?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. That's becoming that's going to be debated tomorrow, I guess. But when you're racing at the top end, you're losing power. You got a puncture, so whatever.
Belgian media would be like, nothing to see here. Move on.
Well,
or the sharks circling.
Well, I actually threw in the question. I said, what time did you lose? And he at that time didn't know that there'd been a gap. So I said, well, I get the time. Of course, it's the rules. He didn't understand my question. But I'll quiz him again in the morning. But it's getting very interesting.
This is great. I love drama and I love conspiracy theories. Still question if we made the moon landing. But anyway, that's another podcast. All right, here's all your interviews. We've got plenty to get through before the start of stage 16.
I had some good refueling, a small bike ride, then a lot of time on the bed and on the massage table, and then a good sleep.
Your competitors are starting to run out of road to attack you. Does that mean that in this week you might have to expect the unexpected also?
For sure. I think we have to be awake every day. The Vuelta is only over. Start in Madrid, and even then it's still raining, so we have to be full focused on Saturday.
There's stages 19 and 20, but what about 18 and 17? How tricky are those for you and your chances?
Every day is a queen stage for us this week.
What do you think about the team's power, your team's power in this third week, and also Jumbo-Visma? How's everybody holding up, Remco?
Yeah, you know, everybody's getting tired. Everybody's running out of fresh legs, so it's all about managing the stress and the critical situations very well, and then just keep the head up, keep focused, and like I said, 5 queen stages to go for us.
Well, happy. We're just about to start the final week of pretty intense Grand Tour. Probably 2 stages that Kaden can feature in, and today's one of them.
Yeah, I think today's an opportunity. Obviously, Madrid's a out-and-out sprint. We're not really sure how today will go. I think it'll be a little bit like the stage that Mads Pedersen won last week. It's quite a tough final, but certainly an opportunity for him.
It's slightly uphill, as you say, but it doesn't seem quite as hard a finish as the one that Mads won the other day.
I think maybe the final kilometre is not as hard, but just before that, I think we have a ramp like in the last 10 kilometres, 2 kilometre climb, quite gradual, and then another ramp like at 2.5 kilometres to go. So, yeah, I think it'll be much the same as the other day.
So, plan A will be you find the lead-out man again?
That'll be the plan, yeah. Didn't quite work out last week, but you know, we're down to 5 guys now. Not really. We've got to see what happens at the start as well. I think Trek will be pretty keen to control. But you know, it's the last week of a Grand Tour, and strange things happen. You know, maybe it's a breakaway day. I don't think so, but we just got to make sure the group's not too big at the start.
Well, Kaden, we're down to that final week, and 2 realistic chances for you. Today, the first one. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, today's pretty touch and go, actually. We'll have to see how it plays out. It's not my preferred finish, but it's still an opportunity, and yeah, we got a team to have a crack.
I suppose it's similar to the one Mads Pedersen won a few days ago, but it doesn't seem quite as hard at the finish.
I think the finishing climb is maybe easier than the other day, but with the climb coming before, changes things a little bit for me.
Now, you've had a nice rest day to get ready for this. How do you recover from rest days?
It's just a lot of time in bed and a short ride. A couple of openers. Hopefully the body hasn't fallen asleep, and yeah, we'll go again today.
So, Bike Exchange JK team have been fantastic in the way they've been delivering you for these sprints. So, we're one more man down now. Bit more pressure on?
No, I mean, the team we've still got here is still strong enough to challenge these finishes, and yeah, we'll still take it day by day, and today's one of them, so we've got our plan and we'll stick to it.
Good luck today, mate.
Yeah.
So, Kaden, you mentioned there's that climb at 3K to go, 100 meters or so in altitude, but you mentioned the one before that. So what does the team need to do to position you to have a chance?
We'll probably just take it earlier today. Put myself in front with Lawson and Lucas probably for the first climb of the 2, and then it's really up to me to try and get over to the final.
Lawson, as well as the whole team, was key in that victory the other day. What do you have to say about the American there riding for you?
Lawson? Yeah, I mean, he's on some really good form, actually. He's been going in the breakaways, and we're pretty excited to see how he can go this week as well. He's also targeting some stages later on in the week before we get to Madrid. So, yes, he's in some really good form, and he's looking good.
It's going to be just as hard, I think. Look, there's a couple of us that are can do something in the last week, and then there's a lot of guys, I don't really know which group I'm part of, that can do something in the last week, but it's going to be a tough race. I mean, obviously a lot of the teams are smelling blood from the last 2 days, really hard days. I see the red jersey still up for grabs, and we've got a strong Jumbo-Visma, strong Ineos, so collectively they're going to ride strong and they're going to put in hard work for quick step. So we're going to be the guys that are suffering and going through the motions with those days.
A lot of experience in your team, I'm going to put it politely, a lot of experience. Is that an advantage when it gets to the third week, or is it better to be, obviously these guys 21, 22, in theory they should be recovering better?
I think it's experience is one thing, but age, the guys are going faster and stronger, and as you get older you get slower, so there you go. It's good for the sound. I think the good thing is I know what to expect. I know how to ride within my limits, especially on a finish like today. Coming off an easy rest day yesterday, and also I know it's the last opportunity for me probably today. So might as well just go all in, and the next couple of days survive, try and get in a break if I can, help guys like Cole and that. But it's been a grueling Vuelta. It's also I haven't done a Grand Tour in the last 2 years, so to be back in this mix here, it's a reminder of how cycling really is.
Speaking to a few guys this morning who are doing their first Grand Tour, I think your first one was 2012 Giro, is that right?
Yeah.
What's your main memory of that race and the culture shock of doing your first Grand Tour?
Oh, there was just about excitement. I didn't know how to actually judge my efforts or anything. There were some days I was trying to actually still race Robbie Hunter for the first South African, that kind of mentality. Stick on, hold on to the group. And as I've grown and as I've learned, the Grand Tours is that like the third week really creeps up on you here. So, these days in the Vuelta particularly, I've taken that things I've learned there, and kind of the days where it doesn't suit me, we've got no objective. I've really taken a back step and just kind of kept as much energy as I can. I know this third week is going to creep up on everyone.
I think these guys, they're so young. There are a couple of 19-year-olds in this race. Have they been thrown in too early, or, they seem to be able to cope with it? Certainly Ayuso and Brenner at DSM.
Look, I think, look, they're already, they're able to do it. But I think this third week we're getting the experienced guys showing it. And you can start seeing the cracks already happening, guys that are experienced, guys like Roglic, and that have, they're not their first rodeo, and especially it's also handling the pressure when you're in the leader's jersey every day, you're doing press conference, things like that. It takes its toll on you, and there's big expectations from Belgium, from everywhere else. So, guys like Roglic are used to this. That's going to work in their favour, and they're going to keep just putting the pressure on, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see something from Movistar in the next couple of days, pushing the pressure on the downhills as well.
Sounds like you think Roglic is going to win this World Cup.
I think he's definitely in with a shot. I think, Remco's obviously he's shown some great form, but like I say, it takes its toll on you. And I think it's all to play for. It's really exciting this week for some guys. For us, it's not so exciting.
Coming into the final leg of a pretty tough Vuelta, how are you feeling?
I guess I'll find out today, but it was really nice to have a rest day, that's for sure. After that hard last two stages as well. So I think everyone's pretty tired, I guess.
So today, obviously, it looks like a sprint stage. I think everyone will make sure of that. But a fairly tough finale.
Yeah, it depends how they race it, I guess. Like looks pretty tough. I think like we saw what Mads Pedersen did the other day. Like going to suit him, and then for the other sprinters, we see how fast we race that final part. But it can be really hard as well.
So what's your plan for today?
Wait and see how I feel. We had on stage 13 Quinton Bacheur. He's kind of a punchy climber, sprinter. I think today can be good for him. He was sixth in that stage 13, so I think I'll probably look to try and place him well in the final. I reckon he's our best chance, because I think like when we reach those last 500 meters, it's just going to be the sprinters will be empty. Hopefully.
Well, there's the first batch of pre-race interviews. Daryl Impey reckons Primoz is going to get the chocolates, Iffy.
He didn't say that, actually. You're twisting the words. It was put to him that way. He said, well...
Just ham it up, John. Play the game.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a fascinating game, as you say. Primoz showed how good he was going. That hit attack he made at 2.5K to go was bloody amazing. He put a gap into everyone. Mads Pedersen had to bury himself to close that gap in the last K and a half. All Primoz cared about was putting a gap in. So it shows he's in great form. This is one of the big hilly stages to come, and he's doing it now. The only challenge for that is he managed to bite the dust in the last 200 metres. So that's got to knock him around. But anyway, we're at a fascinating bike race.
Yep. Well, here's the second batch of pre-race interviews before the start of stage 16.
Good morning, Rob. Well, you've had a rest day leading to the final week. How did you do yesterday?
Oh, it was actually ended up being quite a busy day. We had to go and get the COVID test and went for just a recovery ride. Went to get a coffee, and then by the time we did massages and all the meals, like there wasn't much time left in the day. But it was nice to have a day off, and I'm feeling a little bit more refreshed than I was the day before.
Now today is an important day for you guys. You get the team that change the stage. Pretty hard little finale. So what will your role be in that finale?
I'm gonna be following Tim, and we'll see if it's gonna be ridden really hard, because there's a possibility that the GC teams they really want to push on a final like this. Or it's not going to be easy, because it's possible for them to lose 20 seconds or like on this sort of punchy hill finish. So they have to be careful, and they're going to be present in the final as well. So maybe it's not going to be such a simple sprint finish like the other days. So I'll be there making sure we have everything covered, and I'll try to put myself in the position to get a result.
They're saying it's similar to the finish at Magic Medicine one a few days ago, but it seems to be not quite as hard as the finale, but a bit harder, before that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. It is a similar final, and there's a potential for the sprinters to be there, like there was the other day, but also there's a potential that they can be dropped. So, in my best scenario is that a few of the sprinters, they're not there, and it's more like a Roglic finish, because he can also ride these sort of punchy finishes. It's going to be interesting.
Morning, Ben.
Morning.
So, big final week coming up, but how did you spend the rest day?
I didn't do a lot. I was pretty tired, but actually, I'm okay now. Ready for the rest of the week. Kind of keen for it to be done now.
I can tell you're excited. When we grabbed you at the top of the climb 2 days ago, you had a big grin on your face and you look very, very comfortable.
Yeah, I think I was just happy finally with how the race had gone. I think we actually did a good race, and I felt more like my normal self. So yeah, obviously I was pretty pleased with it. So that's part of the reason why.
So a big week coming up, of course, and some monster days. Everyone's talking about stage 20, but there's a couple of other pretty tough days before that.
They're tough. They're not crazy. So I think it was maybe more about how the breakaway forms and how mad the start of the race is. That's going to affect how the final is going to be. For sure, tomorrow, maybe Roglic will try, maybe to gain some bonus seconds perhaps. I mean, I can't really see how else he's going to gain back time bar trying to win stages, and get the bonus seconds. So it'll be interesting to see how that fight plays out.
I guess that fight works well for you, because if Jumbo really put it on the line, especially in stage 20, and crack the whole race, it gives you an opportunity to jump up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have the guys in front of you drop first. So I'm just going to hope that, especially for stage 20, I'm really good. I don't make any errors before then.
How long on the bike? An hour?
Oh yeah, like an hour and a half or something. I think just real easy. So
now we missed you on top of Sierra Nevada, but you've done it with a pretty big ride. You've been up the break all day and then still right in the mix at the finish. How were you feeling?
oh yeah, I mean I just I knew it was going to be like 50-50 chance of the breakaway to stay away, and it was a really big fight at the start, and I went pretty deep actually to be there, as I think everyone in the break did. And and then some teams started to chase behind, and and then on the last climb I I didn't really feel the best or have like the best legs, but I just try to make the most of it, and that's the way it is. Timon was super strong, and congrats to him. It was a great ride, and unfortunately I just didn't have the legs, but it was a good day out, and also nice to be in the breakaway again. It's been a while since I've been in a breakaway, so it was a bit dusty, but it was cool.
Now, you know that you can go well at the end of a Grand Tour. We've seen that a couple of times. You moved up to 10th. Possibility you can move a little bit more over the next week.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, that's not, it's not like the big goal or whatever, but I really want to, see if I can go for a stage. I'll keep looking for that opportunity, but if I can finish in the top 10, that's also really nice. So it's been a pretty hard year, and I'm definitely feeling like I have 2 Grand Tours in the legs. So hopefully this last week's kind to me, and see what we can do, and we'll try and make the most of it.
We're ready for our flap report. Firstly, how did you spend the rest of the day?
Very, very easy ride, mate. A lot of coffee, bit of media, and that's about all. Spoke to Mitch Stocker a bit, and very relaxing, mate, and I'm refreshed and ready to go.
So, we're into the final week of a Grand Tour, so it's getting serious. It's a pretty intense Grand Tour as well. What's the plans for today?
Stay safe. If a big group goes away, we'll try slip in there. I might try as well, but I think Trek will control it. But the finish is really technical, mate. It's meant to be a sprint finish, but they've done this twice in the last few years, and there's always been time gaps of a few seconds. So keep Carlos safe through the roundabouts, and soak up the heat. It's going to be about 38, 40 degrees, which would just be beautiful.
Now, your predictions have been pretty good so far, so we want to know who's your pick for today.
Mads Pedersen, I reckon. I think he'll just be too good on a finish like that, and suits him to a T, but hopefully Skip Kaden can get up there as well.
Good luck today, mate.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. What did you get up to yesterday?
Very cruisy, no work, nice. Too much piss.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I didn't trim that properly. Honestly, I've slapped those together. And then when I started watching that, I'm going, hang on.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you.
No, that's a legit. What did you get up to last night?
I had food poisoning. I was very unwell, actually. Okay, there.
That old chestnut. Christopher Stapleton says, coming in loud and clear in Florida, USA. He wants to know how much does the bike brand play in bike racing? Like the technology's pretty close, but there is a difference.
Huge, actually.
Bike Exchange, for example, they're really happy on their bikes this year. So
it's interesting, there are bike companies that are really pushing the zones in their technology, and there are bike companies that are resting on their reputations, and they're going to fall away. And they're suddenly realising they're going to have to change their tack. So, very, very much the case. The big companies are right there. They're cutting each other. They're cutting the edge all the time. It's wonderful to watch, actually.
Simon Knowles says it's all happening in Spain. Jan Boardman says, do the Grand Tours deliberately put the media zone as close to the loudest speakers they can find? Seems to happen at the start and the finish. That is tricky.
I believe they do, Jan. I did an interview, one of those this morning, with Rob Stannard. I did not hear one thing he said. So I just hope that my next question was sort of okay. because it was just so loud with the introductions to the other teams. But anyway, that's the challenge we have.
Jan also says, so sorry for Roglic. He's so unlucky. I hope he continues, but he looked concussed. Maz, though, he's riding so well, makes it interesting still. That is interesting because what's the
he was definitely a bit concussed. I saw him get up. We were watching the whole thing live, and he wasn't that far from us. And he had his sunglasses were sideways and whatever, which made it look worse. And he got himself his act together, but there were a few seconds where he didn't know where he was. But he's a tough nut. He's a Slovenian. I mean, they are tough.
Amber van der Bosch says, you got to mention in a Belgian cycling talk show, if you're the Aussie journalist who told the Sportza reporter how pleasant Remco is in interviews, at least. That random fact aside, good job, guys. So there you go.
Well, he is. That's a fact. He is great to interview. Like today, I interviewed him at the finish, and he was fantastic. So I'm a big fan.
Zippy7 says, does Primoz have to attack before the 3K mark to stop Quick Step DS using the puncher mechanical rule to get Remco the same time?
You know what? I'm sick of hearing that. That is not who Remco Evenepoel is. He does not whack the hand up at 3K because of pressure going on. That's not who that person is. He's a racer.
Yeah, but everyone's got their limits, John. You don't know.
Whatever. I'm not going
Desperado.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a drinks break. When we come back, we've got all the post-race interviews, so stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Thanks again to our great mates at Bike Exchange. Head over to bikeexchange.com.au if you need a road bike, mountain bike, e-bike, gravel bike, any bike accessories. You'll get the best price. You'll be supporting local dealers. There's no excuses because you know where to go and support guys that support the detour and cycling, John.
I can't even add to that, mate. You nailed it all.
Perfect.
Exactly right.
All right, here's all the interviews post-race from stage 16.
I'm super happy. Maybe you guys know already, but Alex here, she got a daughter yesterday. He missed the birth, and I really wanted to give him a win and give his family, his wife, and his new daughter a win today. So I had to deliver, but it was a really tough final. Like Primoz, when he went, it was a really good move, and Ackermann, he was straight there. It was really tough to close, and yeah, luckily for me, we had a slightly downhill after, so I could recover a bit, and then the uphill finish. So yeah, in the end, it was a perfect final with this little downhill. But if we didn't have the downhill, it would have been definitely a lot harder to win.
And there you go again, winning twice already. That green jersey even better for you now. What did you see of the crash of Primoz?
Yeah, I just saw it on the TV now in the press conference. Of course I saw him sitting in the barrier, and he didn't look good. But I really hope he's okay, and he keeps continuing in the race, and he can keep fighting for the victory. it's a pity stuff like that happens, and I don't know exactly what happened, but it's really close to the finish line, so I feel really sorry for him.
Because of moments like that, when he crashes and you're really up to the finish line, do you hear anything, or do you sentence something's wrong?
To be honest, there were so many spectators here, so I didn't hear him crash. There were so many spectators making so much noise, so yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, and I didn't hear it, so I was just, to be honest, focusing on sprinting.
Congratulations, and what a day. Never a dull moment in the Vuelta, huh?
Exactly, the Vuelta is quite good.
Okay, thanks,
Take care.
Great, I'm just going to
Well, Fred, take us back to the moment when, well, pretty much Roglic surprised us all and, well, got a gap.
Yeah, man, that was one of the hardest uphill sprints I've ever done in my life. Just waiting for the top and just to like sit on the wheel, but yeah. I had to stall a bit on the climb actually, that messed me up a bit, but it was still flat out to the top, and yeah, I thought, okay, I'll sit at the back this time. I don't know if they know I'm here, you know, a bit different to last time, but I mean, I got out of the saddle and tried to go, but the legs didn't really have it, I must say. I think it didn't help that Roglic was coming back. Like, he crashed, didn't he? And that wasn't.
That was 200.
That was a sprint in it, so I don't think it was.
I mean, he touched the wheel and he was the last wheel, I think.
200.
Yeah. Well, I was coming out and around, and he was coming back close to the line, so I don't know. Hope he's all right.
Of all the scenarios you envisaged this morning and the way you might try and win it, was that one of them, that a group might detach itself like that?
Nah, not really. I just knew I had to stay around Mads, around Danny and Ackerman and see. I think I kind of knew it would be us four, like sprinting for it. But yeah, maybe not quite like that. In the end, we were just following Roglic.
How much of an effort was that with Primos's power at the front?
It was pretty. It was something special, you know. You could tell they planned that one in the meeting, but yeah, I'm a bit disappointed again. But I think this time just didn't really have the legs. I mean, we'll look at the climb again, and maybe I was a bit too far back again, but we didn't expect to go that hard, you know. In my head, it was like a sprinter's team riding at a pace that would stop people attacking, but there's no stopping Roglic when he wants to do something like that. So.
And then unfortunately, yeah, he crossed wheels or something. It looks like he might even have a broken collarbone up there. He looks destroyed.
Fuck. Shit. Yeah, I'll have to send him a message. Hope he's all right, man.
There it is, right behind you, Fred.
Yeah, Luke. Well, that was an amazing finish. All hell seemed to break loose. It was Evenepoel punctures 2.5k to go, and then great ride by Roglic, but he crashes in the last 200 metres and it looked like he'd hurt himself.
Yeah, look mate, if Roglic is attacking on a sprint day like this, I think we all better saddle up for the next few days, because it's, yeah, if that's anything to go by, he's going to be on.
So how was what happened for you out there today, mate?
Not much, mate. It was a pretty slow day. Yeah, not much happened. Carlos was safe at the end, but apart from that, mate, wasn't much to it.
So when you went past Roglic, still on the ground when you went?
Yeah, he's on the ground with the medicos, mate, and his whole team around him. So maybe a bit of skin off. I'm not sure what else, but it's unfortunate, isn't it? You don't want the fight to finish like that. So hopefully he's good in the next 4 days. Good racing.
Jay, another hot day out in the sun. I saw you doing a bit of work on the front there towards the end, mate.
Yeah. The goal was to keep the guys out of trouble as we came over that first bump, so that they could have an easy run into the downhill, but there was nothing easy about that finish, so I'm not sure how the guys wound up. I know Rob had a mechanical, I think with about 12 k's to go, so that was his race done, but yeah, I think we all stayed upright, which is important.
So the fairly exciting finish in the end with Evenepoel puncturing inside the last 3k, and then Roglic crashing in 200 metres to go.
Yeah, it's a very tricky finish. I think when they did this finish last, it was just full of GC favourites. So yeah, it's definitely a really hard finish, and yeah, it's interesting to see such big gaps as well, even without all the mechanicals that had happened.
So you had the rest day. How'd the legs feel today?
Yeah, better than last year, that's for sure. But also the stage was a lot easier than the day after the rest day last year when Jakobsen won. But yeah, feeling good and hopefully get some more results later this week.
Well, tomorrow, some more points up the grade. What's the plan? Get in the break?
No, I think the final climb's not hard enough for me. So I think we're gonna sit in the bunch and see what happens. But I mean, it could be a breakaway, or the GC guys could fight for it because there's still a lot of teams that I think want a stage win. No worries, thanks.
Righto, there's all the post-race interviews. Let's have a look at stage 17. Johnny, what are you expecting?
Yeah, I think a break will go. There'll be 2 races. There'll be a great race in that finale, but a break will get away. And I reckon put 6-7 minutes.
There you go. Who's your tip then if it's a break?
Oh,
run the chook raffle.
Exactly. No, I'll go for the Belgian. We haven't seen much of him lately. He's been very quiet.
Who's that?
Lotto Sedal.
The bearded burbler.
The bearded burbler, yeah. And yeah, he's still here, and at top of stage, he could get up the road. Yeah.
I saw an article with our mate Matt White talking about the relegation zone because it just won't go away, John. And you look at the latest points, the gap's starting to tighten. You've got Lotto Sedal, 13,880 points. Movie Star just in front in the safety zone, only 300 in front, and then Bike Exchange Jaco a couple of hundred in front of Movie Star. But you've got all these one-day races that are going on at the moment that a lot of the other teams are trying to mop up the final points of the season. So it's going to come down the wire, I think. Like, I thought they were well and truly safe, but yeah.
They were, but things change quickly. And that's why Whitey's getting angry now, but fair enough. So when you look at those points, and for those who are listening, Movistar are a handful behind, but they're likely to get the top podium here. That'll move them in front. Yeah, it's an awkward situation. It stinks, actually. It's stupid. What Whitey said in his piece today is spot on. You got all these strong teams, financially secure. Why would you try and get rid of them from the World Tour when the problem has been up until COVID, getting enough strong teams to be there? It doesn't make sense. And you get teams that are disadvantaged because of COVID, especially like Israel, a perfect example. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, another monster episode. Great work, you and Vazzy on the ground. We'll be back again 6:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the rest of the Vuelta. We're in the final stretch. Thanks again for all your support, guys. YouTube.com/Detour Podcast. Go catch up with the lads, Iffy.
I just hope that Vazzy and Chris and Neil had a wonderful time watching the big football game. But I will catch them soon.
Yeah. Just be careful, John. Don't get food poisoning. We'll see you again tomorrow, guys. Cheers.